welcome to the fourth episode of All Things Football. We've been a bit quiet, but fantastic to be recording once again. And I'd like to welcome the Jody fan Wasim. It's just Wasim and myself today. Lots of football news, lots of things to touch base on. Wasim, welcome. Give us some of your thoughts on what's happening in the football world these last couple of days, this last couple of weeks, and so on.
I think it's obviously with football, there's always something happening. Obviously, the biggest news in the last say week has been Man City being banned from the UEFA Champions League for the next 2 seasons. I think that's quite huge. The ramifications for that, I don't think everything is clear at this stage. Would it mean that the fifth placed Premier League team gets a chance at the Champions League? Would it mean that they appeal and win the appeal? Things like that. So a lot of uncertainty, but it's actually quite huge, that news. And I think that's the main talking point across the football world at this stage.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. There are a lot of variables going into that. I mean, a lot of people are speculating that City are actually going to appeal and that everything will be swept under the carpet and nothing will really be made of it. Personally, for me, that would be a loss for football because you're trying to stamp out corruption. A lot of people are talking about PSG and what they're doing at the moment. I read an article where people were saying the PSG owner is actually on the UEFA committee, so that kind of favors him, and UEFA sort of turned a blind eye to their regulations where FFP is concerned and so forth. And then I think with City, for me, this has been long coming. In 2018, L'Equipe, the top French publication, they ran a story where Sheikh Mansour was actually giving his own money to sponsors, and they were putting it into the club as sponsorship revenue when it was actually coming from the owner's pocket. So there's a lot of uncertainty at the moment, but I think all in all, if City do, face any implications in the league, and I'm sure everybody's heard about them possibly going down a league or two as well and being docked points this season. It's going to be very interesting. It's definitely, as far as news is concerned, it's a melting pot at the moment. So there's definitely going to be a lot more coming from Manchester City and from the Etihad and so we look forward to hearing from that. But at the end of the day, we hope justice is served. So let's hope that the authorities are strong enough to do it right.
Totally agreed. So from us, go for it.
Because of course, also there's been a lot of fixtures occurring, a lot of results happening, and so on. Obviously, in La Liga, there's the surprise package of Getafe, how well they've been doing this season. It's been largely overshadowed by people who don't follow La Liga. Barca played Getafe yesterday. I think you caught some of the game. Your thoughts on the game and how they performed at the Nou Camp?
Yeah, it was quite a close game. If you watched the highlights and you watched the actual game, Getafe had chances. They should possibly have gone away with a point at least, but Barca stuck to it, got the result. Jordi Alba had an injury, so that's a bit concerning, especially with the Champions League resuming shortly. So he had to be taken off early in the game. VAR also ruled out a disallowed goal for Getafe, probably rightly so, but yeah, Getafe certainly gave them a go. And the interesting line about this game was that the goal scorer for Getafe, he's possibly being targeted by Barcelona as an emergency signing due to all the injuries that they have currently in their forward line. So it might be that he made an impression by scoring and could end up playing for Barcelona this season as well. So, but it's a good result for Barcelona. They keep the pressure on Real Madrid. They now level on points with him. And it'll be interesting to see how Real Madrid play today. They're playing at home to Celta Vigo. They should win that, but as you know, pressure's on them now to at least do well.
Also, just on if we divert to the Premier League, of course, Friday night we saw Wolves and Leicester draw 0-0 at Malino. VAR, depending on which side of the fence you sit on, reared its ugly head again with, I think it was Willie Bolly's goal being
Yep.
disallowed. So 0-0 there. Uh, Liverpool are in immaculate form. I think as a United fan, I've given up hoping that they're going to
Mm.
lose a game. I think at this
Mhm.
stage, whether they lose points, it's kind of irrespective because they are absolutely walking the league at the moment. Credit to them. And I think Liverpool fans now are just sort of counting down the games before they do mathematically clinch the title. Just give us some of your thoughts on some of the games this past weekend.
Yeah, I think the Leicester Wolves game, I watched that. It didn't quite end up being as exciting as it was anticipated to be. I think both teams gave it a go, but we're also happy not to lose because obviously it's a tough game, and so I think they were fairly happy with walking away with a point in such a tough fixture. And I think Liverpool yesterday they just played within themselves with the Champions League coming up. They were in control for most of the game. Norwich had some chances, but as has been the case throughout the season with Norwich, is they just haven't taken their chances and then been punished with Mane coming on, and obviously Liverpool had Mane and Fabinho coming on, so those are top players to bring on to impact the game, and Norwich just didn't have an answer when those players came on, and they proved to be the difference. But Liverpool just keep marching on; they just know how to get those results. So credit to them. As these fixtures today, also I look forward to that. I think Spurs are playing a bit later on, as well as Arsenal playing Newcastle. I think that will be an interesting game. Arsenal will be at home and should expect the 3 points, but Newcastle are fairly solid away from home defensively. So if they start off well and get the confidence going, it could be quite an interesting game. But I think we're all waiting for Man United and Chelsea tomorrow night. That should be the pick of the games in terms of Premier League. Riaz, what do you think of that game?
Yeah, that's a big game for us. I think the added incentive is now, of course, the so-called extra Champions League spot with the debacle happening with City. I think our form against the bigger teams under Solskjaer hasn't been bad, especially away from home. We beat Chelsea in the Carabao Cup at Stamford Bridge, and our record under Solskjaer at Stamford Bridge is actually quite good when you consider that United's overall record at Stamford Bridge is really poor. So I'm looking forward to the game. People are speculating about Igalo starting. Bruno Fernandes should, of course, start the game. I'm not one to predict. Hopefully, United gets a victory, but it's still going to be a tough game against a very inconsistent Chelsea side. I think from the start of the season, they started on a real high, and there's some real inconsistencies coming into the game, but they should also be quite hyped by the signing of Hakim Ziyech, so they should be excited about that. You touched
I
on,
think
yeah,
I think with that also Chelsea, remember, lost the opening fixture to Man United 4-0, and it was not really a fair reflection of that game. So I think Chelsea will be up for it in a sense that they felt that they um, deserved a lot more out of that game than was than the 4-0 result suggests. So I think they'll be up for it. They'll remember that result and try and get one over United this time.
absolutely. And you mentioned, the class of Liverpool and then being able to pull out the result. Talking about class, if we go over to Italy, there's a massive, massive game tonight. We have Inter Milan playing Lazio. Both teams are in fantastic form. Of course, Inter lost in the Coppa Italia first leg at home to Napoli with a fantastic Fabian Ruiz strike. Lazio have been unbelievable. I mean, people talk about Cristiano Ronaldo and him being on superb goal scoring form, but I
Yeah.
don't hear too many people talking about Ciro Immobile. He's been phenomenal. He's been the top goal scorer in Serie A at the moment. I'm sure we're both going to eagerly be
Yeah.
watching that game. Definitely something
Yes.
to keep. Just your thoughts on that fixture and how you foresee Serie A playing out. Basically, Inter have been fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've slowly been getting into Serie A more this season. Obviously, with it being more tighter than previous years, Lazio 1 point behind Inter. Inter also having being rivals to Juve, so 1 point separating the top three. That's exciting. I think we haven't seen it in the other leagues, so So it's great that Serie A is got 3 teams vying for that title, and so I'm looking forward to the game. I think it should be a great game. But the Milan derby last week was exciting to watch. Inter came back to win that 3-2, so that was a terrific game. So I think they'll be buoyed by that. But Lazio, they being the home team, they know that this is a one chance that they're going to get over their rivals to really put their marker down and say that they're the team to beat. So I think it's going to be a cracking game. Certainly looking forward to it. And personally, I'd be wanting Inter to win because I think they under Antonio Conte, they're really going places, and I think this is the one time where they can also put their market down. So I think it's going to be good. I'll be rooting for Inter, but yeah, I think it's just good to see that Serie A has got teams fighting for that title, and Juve is just not walking away with it like they have in previous years.
Absolutely. So that being said, Wasim, I want to thank you very much for your time. Again, guys, big fixtures today. Massive one at Stamford Bridge tomorrow. To the Liverpool fans watching, just to get your input, does this Liverpool side rank as the greatest ever Liverpool side? Give us your opinions. Like, share, subscribe to us on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you so much for your time. For those watching, thank you for your time. As always, glory, glory, Manchester United. Wasim, thank you for your time. We'll talk again, brother.
Away the lads.